Mass shootings aren't the only type of gun violence crippling our country. The Department of Commerce says in Washington, there's an average of 2 deaths per day and many more injuries from firearms.
The Office of Firearm Safety and Violence Prevention wants to bring more awareness to the growing issue and is using data to try and prevent deaths. Tonight at 6, Esther Bauer shows us how they're fighting the issue.
Well, they're using data to dig into the problem areas in our state. This heat map shows us the highest concentration of gun violence by county. By identifying hotspots for violence, they can intervene in high-risk communities to save lives.
It shakes us all to the core.
Seeing communities ripped apart by gun violence, that isn't getting any better. The nation is mourning the loss of life in Uvalde, Texas.
We as a country are affected by this. You, me, our neighbors are all affected by this.
Affected by gun violence in ways many don't even know about.
Mass shootings are, they get a lot of headlines, but they're not the day-to-day firearm violence that we're working to address.
On top of mass shootings, suicides, domestic violence, and gang-related gun violence are major concerns in Washington. By using data, the Office of Firearm Safety and Violence Prevention is targeting communities dealing with the most gun violence. These are the top 5 counties for gun deaths in Washington.
What we're doing is trying to focus on those areas and identify those high-risk neighborhoods, people, and focus our intervention efforts on them.
Kate Kelly wants to see a decrease in deaths, but making change happen is even harder.
Do you have hope as a country we're ever going to see a change to these tragedies?
Unless the individual states like Texas start putting in laws that restrict access to firearms, like, for example, not allowing an 18-year-old to go in and walk out with 2 AR-15s. Unless something like that happens, I don't have good hope.
Dr. Frederick Rivara is the director of the Firearm Injury and Policy Research Program at the University of Washington. He says states need to step up to address the issue before more parents lose a child at a place that's supposed to be safe. And these researchers say they're seeing a disturbing increase in firearm violence here in Washington since the pandemic. Dr. Rivara says he isn't confident this will happen, but adds that federal background checks would go a long way to make sure guns don't end up in the wrong hands. Reporting in studio, Esther Bauer, 4 News Now.